I'm a lifelong learner, always will be. My father once told me, or several times, that the day you stop learning is the day you die. And I believe that.
So my passion is to learn about everything I can and to use art and creativity in everything I do. I think that an observer would have said that she loves her family. Family was number one for us. We did everything together. With 2 older brothers and 3 younger sisters, I would take care of my sisters while Mom did a lot of the work, and then I would help Mom a lot. An observer would say she has a good work ethic. I think growing up on a farm where you have so many family members that need food and clothes, you have to work together. We played together, we worked hard together. I think all of those things really, the agrarian life made me a better person because of teamwork and work ethic.
The main goal that I've always tried to do is support and provide for the family. And my wife and I have always been very frugal. She is an Iowa farm girl, grew up being very conservative. She doesn't spend a lot of money frivolously, and we are now retired. And so, we've kind of met that goal as being able to provide for the family. We helped both of our children through college. They're both now adults and are contributing members of society, taxpayers, that kind of good stuff. But, these are good people, and they take care of themselves and they take care of family. And yes, that's what, our goal always was to raise good people. My first degree was actually in zoology, pre-professional zoology, and so that was my first degree at Northwest. So my wife got a job teaching here at North Andrew, so I went up to Northwest thinking maybe they'd give me a night class or something to teach. So I had to wait for a couple of months, but I took the job, started in January. I taught management for 2.5 years basically up there. And I realized if I'm going to be a teacher at the college level, I better go get a PhD. Luckily, when I had that job done, they had an opening in finance again. I was able to get the job back at Northwest in finance. I ended up teaching there totally 25 years in that field. I taught 2.5 before, so 27.5 years was my time there at Northwest. And then I got into acting. My daughter has a child, my granddaughter Tessa. In St. Joe, there's the Ruby Dew Resident Theater. They had classes for children in acting, and so we got her into that. And they also had acting for senior citizens, 50 plus. So I joined that group and found out I loved acting, of all weird things. After a point, I decided I wanted to get better training in acting. So I went back to Northwest and got a degree in theater performance. That's my 4th degree. I can't do things part way. I just, I believe in completing the task, and I mean, I could have taken just acting classes. That's not what the theater degree at Northwest is, because you have to take costume design, you have to take scenic design, you have to take lighting, sound design, stage management. I took stage management, I took playwriting class, I took a directing class. As a finance accounting type person, I'm very analytic. And the theater department, being an actor, just flips your mindset. It's now the creative side working. I'm a much more free person, I'm a much more relaxed person, I'm a much more calm person. It was really good going back as a student though, because the funny thing is, I could relate to those students again. Maybe I'm in my second childhood or something, but I mean, I have some really good friends who are still up there students. It was fun, just being a student again. And my wife and I, we just continually go from one thing to another thing to another thing. I'm interested in the things she does. She's interested in the things I do. She does her weaving. I help her set up her loom. When I was doing my acting classes, she was helping me do whatever I needed to do, learn lines, this, that, and the other. I mean, we continually help each other that way, but we always constantly, both of us, continually learn. So she said, I'm getting bored during the summers. She's a farm girl, So I said, okay. So I bought this place and we built a house, so she had something to do.
local. Everybody was saying, buy local, buy local, buy local. I said, don't buy local, know your farmer. And so I started planting more and more food for us. And I would not use chemicals. Eventually we would get our animals and we compost. We would compost all the time. And then when we got the animals, like the chickens, we would use their manure, put it on the compost and mix it with leaves and everything else. I read a lot about how to properly compost. Right now we have 2 wonderful dogs. Izzy is very old and needs a lot of care and a lot of patience. We have a Great Pyrenees dog for our goats. We have 3 goats right now. The Great Pyrenees is such a sweetheart. We also have chickens. We have 7 chickens right now, and, well, hens that lay eggs. Our animals are, to me, so close to human beings. They have emotions, they have feelings. Until you spend so much time with these creatures, you really don't understand it. Because of my background, I knew that I was capable of doing it. Growing up on a farm and watching my mom plant her garden and helping her plant her garden, I knew that I could do it. And then, of course, reading the media and reading labels in the grocery store, I would pick up a can of something or a package of something and I would read it and I'm like, what is this stuff? I can't even pronounce half these words. So maybe I should not be consuming these items from the grocery store. Maybe I should be growing as much as I can and processing it so that we can have this food all year round. And we do that for the most part. Of course, there are things that we don't grow. We don't grow wheat or, rice or certain things, and we do buy them, but we are very careful about reading the labels or buying organic foods where we suspect and hope that the labels are true. So my passion is for us to grow foods and to process foods that are very healthy for us. There's never a dull moment. When we got our sheep, of course, I was into spinning wool. In order to spin wool, you have to card it and comb it. That in itself is a process, and then you dye the wool. There's several different ways to dye it. My favorite is to put it in a crock pot. I love to weave. Weaving really makes your mind sharp. In my opinion, it's a very complicated process, and I help other people too with that, which is good for all of us. I love to play the keyboard. Mike plays the banjo, and sometimes we love to just hang out together. I'm not a professional keyboard player, but I could spend hours just playing the chords and the melody and enjoying that. And flower arranging now has become my great passion, growing flowers and learning how to arrange them monochromatically and all sorts of different ways. It keeps my mind sharp because there's an endless amount of things to learn when you have land like we have, when you can garden to any extent. Besides that, I'm not sitting in my easy chair all day. I am out running around. I'm hauling buckets of dirt here and there, putting compost on here and there, feeding the goats. I am tilling the garden, working the soil. All of those things help me both physically and mentally be a very excited, happy person. I wake up every morning with this list in my head of things that I'm looking forward to doing. I don't wake up ever saying, oh man, I'm not happy with this. I'm a very excited person about the variety of things that I can do every day. So yes, mentally and physically, it helps me.
My wife and I met up in Northwest. We actually, weirdly enough, had a very short courtship.
I was working in the browsing room. I don't know if they still have a browsing room there. He would come in and talk to me. He had seen me walking along the sidewalk. He knew a friend who knew a friend or something.
We met and I had our first date in December. We went Christmas caroling, and then we didn't have any contact during Christmas break. got back together in January. I proposed on February 5th. We were married on August 5th in that year. So it was fairly quick.
I am always confident that everything will get done if Mike is here. And if Mike isn't ever going to be here, I will be in trouble.
That's the way it's always been with Theresa and I. We've always supported each other. So if she wanted to go to school, I would work. If I wanted to go to school, she'd work. You know, and it just was, we always had that way to help each other out. And it's been that way our entire life.
There's not a kinder, more gentler man than my husband. There's not a man that would give me the moon like he does. I think he puts me first. He will never let me be unhappy. He will do anything just to make me happy.
You'll think I'm crazy about this, but my biggest hobby is that woman because I just love spending time with her, and I still do. You know, we've been married for 50 years, and my greatest joy is still just being around her and being interesting. We just talk about things all the time.
The most important thing I've realized is that life is short. There's so many fun things to do. I can never get it all done. This is a great year for us. We're both 70 and we're married 50 years. I want to live longer. Life is beautiful.